Okay, I think we're live now. I just wanted to check if everyone is hearing me.
Yep, clear.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we can.
Yep.
So, welcome everyone. We will start with a quick round of introductions, starting by myself. My name is Christina, and I'm the community manager of the FinTech House. The FinTech House is an initiative of Portugal FinTech, which is a non-profit association with the main goal to make fintechs in Portugal grow. So we try to help the startups in four main pillars. The first one, we connect them with investors. We connect them with regulators, also with mature players. We have this aim of putting startups collaborating with the mature players, and also with talent. And so that's why we're doing this event. Startups are always looking for talent, and talent is always looking for new opportunities. So that's why we're here. So the FinTech House is basically a hub for fintech startups. We are based in Lisbon, in Praça da Alegria. We're growing really fast. So in some months we are going to move to another place. And what I mean by growing really fast, I mean that we've been here. I've been at the FinTech House for 3 months, and in 3 months we got 20 new members. So our community is basically insurtechs, regtechs, proptechs, cybersecurity startups, blockchain, crypto. So it's very diverse, and we basically want to be a one-stop shop for fintechs. So a place where a startup comes and we ask them, okay, what do you want? Do you want to meet investors? We connect them with capital. Do you want to meet the regulators? We will connect them with the regulators. Do you think that you can make a better digital journey to a mature player, like a bank or an insurance company? We will connect you with them. Are you looking for talent? We will connect you with universities, with recruitment companies, and we also have the co-working space, but we also have virtual members. So the virtual members can be helped in the same way as the members that are on site. And yeah, so now I'm going to ask for Pedro Moura from Landing.Jobs to present himself.
Yeah, thank you, Christina. So, welcome all the audience and also to our guests. Obviously, it's always a pleasure to partner with FinTech House to do this kind of events, and trying to broaden the interest in Portugal, the FinTech market, and also obviously tech talent. So, I'm currently CMO at Landing.Jobs. Landing.Jobs, it's basically a company that tries to match talent with companies, in a globalized way. We firmly believe in connecting talent from all points in the world, to companies that are mostly in Europe and North America. And we do it stimulating not only remote work across borders, but also relocation and local talent. So we try to digitally, and this is very important, working only on the tech talent space, to make the connection between, great people and great companies. And our mission is basically to empower talent to make the most out of their careers, while helping companies meet their demands, or their growing demands in terms of tech talent.
Okay, thank you, Pedro. Now I'm going to ask for Bruno from Weaver to present himself.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. So I'm the VP of Engineer at Weaver, and my role at Weaver, it's as we speaking as well in this type of subject, it's to be hire manager as well. So we are looking for good talent, especially in Portugal, that we know we have a good talent. So my job, like I said, is to oversee all the technical parts of Weaver, managing the technical teams, managing the QA teams, and bring new solutions to the company as well, working alongside with other parts of the business and at Weaver. My background comes from as a development. I was a developer a long time ago. In other areas, apart from FinTech, I came to Weaver in the beginning of this year. So I came to Weaver to try to help scale up the company, bringing processes, bringing new talent, as I mentioned, scale the teams, and bring new solutions to the FinTech world as well. Not saying that I'm going to bring the best, the new solution, but at least to bring to create a new platform or a better platform for the FinTech world as well at Weaver. So basically, that's my background working at Weaver.
Okay, great. Now, João Cerdeira from Locker.
Hi. First of all, thank you for inviting me. It is a really pleasure to be here and to talk with you all and to present Locker and myself. So my name is João Cerdeira. For the people that are not Portuguese, don't try to spell my name. Call me GC. This is one thing that I learned working with English people. So trying to say João Cerdeira, it's really hard. So GC is fine. I started to work as a developer on the financial sector in SIBS, that is the main broker in Portugal, and then I moved to all other areas, security, and then I was on the betting space, and then on the retail. And on the retail was my first experience on the startup. I was not on the first, but on the beginning of Farfetch, and then I exit Farfetch after the IPO. This was my first experience on the startup, but it's a different scale from Locker. I also started as a developer normally, and then I started move on my career normally, team lead, and so on and so on and so on. Now I'm CTO of Locker. I oversee all the technology, all the people that are working with me that are developers, engagement manager, QA, and so on. So we keep Locker moving. That's the thing, because we are a technology company. So our goal is to keep Locker moving. Locker, what does Locker? Locker works for the financial sector, and one thing that Locker does is to trying to help digitalize banks. Because if you go to the home banking, you do transfers and so on and so on. But if you want to open an account, you need to go to the branch, right? And that in our times, it's really strange going to a branch to do something, because we are used to the neobanks, and with the neobanks, they don't have branches. So what we do is we build journeys that allow our clients, normally banks or financial institutions, to perform the things that they right now ask the client to go to the branch, open a bank account, or refresh the data because the anti-money laundering rules, and so on, so on, so on. So we don't try to convert a traditional bank and a neobank, but we try to help the banks to be more similar to neobanks. And for the people, the teenagers right now, right, they don't want to go to the branch to do something. They want to do it digitally. So we provide that to traditional banks. That is basically what we do. Thank you.
Great, thank you, João. Now, Joseph from Swissborg.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Joseph. I'm the talent acquisition partner at Swissborg. I'm in charge of recruitment in the company. Quick background about me. I'm coming from the agency recruitment industry. I spent 5 years in Tokyo. I used to work for Big Pharma back then. And then I moved to London back in 2020. I joined Swissborg last November, and I'm covering pretty much all all roles, all departments, so marketing, engineering, corporate governance, you name it. Swissborg is, in a nutshell, a wealth management app. The twist is that it's in crypto. The company was started in 2018 through a successful ICO. Back then, they barely made it, but turned out he was the little 5% of ICO that succeeded. And then the company turned from a small team of 5 people to 250 employees now, spread across Europe. We have recently opened an entity in Portugal last December. And Portugal has been an important place for us to hire great talents. So a quick summary of what Swissborg can allow you to do. So maybe some of you are completely new to crypto, but say you want to diversify your investment. You may want to download Swissborg. So as I said, it's a crypto wealth management app. It has 2 main features. One is the smart engine. So essentially, when you buy, say, Bitcoin or Ethereum through Swissborg, with a smart engine will scan the market. So basically, we're going to scan exchanges like Binance, Kraken, Bitfinex, and so on. So to guarantee the users that the asset he's purchasing is purchased at a competitive price, because all exchanges don't sell the asset at the same price. The other big feature of our business is the smart yield. So essentially, if you own a certain asset, so once again, let's take Bitcoin and Ethereum as a prime example, you can put them into a yield program and earn daily interest that will compound automatically. So take it as a way to, like a piggy bank, you will grow your assets over time, and it could be your retirement fund in 10 to 20 years. So better start early. So that's what we do. We are hiring engineers, marketeers, payment officers, financial controllers as well. The best advice I have for you is to check our website. We have a great career page, and you can check all the positions that we have open. To give you an idea, last quarter, we've hired 76 people. So tremendous growth organically. Obviously, right now with the global downturn, we slowed down the pace a little bit, but we're still hiring quite heavily. So please check us out.
Great, thank you, Joseph. The audience at the end, if you want, you can write your questions in the chat, and at the end, we can answer those questions. So now, Pedro Moura, I know that Landing.Jobs has recently released a study on global tech talent. I would like to know what were the main insights from that study.
Okay, so basically we took on the very ambitious endeavor of trying to have a global tech talent report, mostly focused on things like working remote across borders, relocation, across all the continents. Well, except Oceania, because we didn't get enough answers to have statistical significance for making something out of it. But what we have saw is in Europe mostly, people are pretty much less inclined to change or to work across borders than people, for example, in Africa, South America, or Asia. So there's a huge gap in terms of the tech talent that is needed and the tech talent available in Europe. Companies in Europe are still pretty much locked down to local talent, much more than North America, which is much more open and has a very higher percentage of people working for North America from other continents, both working remotely or even relocating. And Europe is lagging on this. The good news is that there is a lot of tech talent, and obviously there will be good tech talent and bad tech talent like everywhere, but available both to work remotely from, uh, well, countries in South America, Asia, and Africa to Europe. Uh, it's just a question of the companies changing a bit their mindset. Obviously, there's a huge difference between more established companies and newer companies. I would bet that the companies that are here today in this webinar don't have the same culture regarding hiring across borders than companies that have a lot of years, a more strict organizational structure, etc. For example, it suffices to say that in Portugal, uh, the biggest variable is asking companies if they have English, which language they have as the official language. If it's English, they obviously are much more prone to really looking at the tech market in a globalized way. If they say no, it's Portuguese, they can also talk a bit of English. That's the disgrace, you know. And what will happen inevitably is that companies are more and more facing the crude reality of, for example, in Portugal, local talent is being poached by companies that are abroad, not only for companies that are abroad to work remotely to other countries, but also for companies like that are coming to Portugal in order to grab the Portuguese tech talent, not just because of their lower salaries, even though that obviously is also a factor, but also due to its quality. And this has made a huge bump, for example, in the salaries of tech talent. We are finishing the Portugal report because we have basically built the global report, and now we're going to create sub chapters, you know, sub reports for each some countries and some topics. But just for you to have a notion, the tech salaries have increased 36% in terms of gross annual salary from last year to this year. This is a lot. You know, it's passing from around an average salary of 35,000 euros, gross annual salary, to 45. This can only have an explanation. Obviously, post-pandemic, you know, the competition from abroad, it's getting worse and worse and worse, or better, in my opinion, because it stimulates the market, obviously. So companies really need to, you know, once and for all, look at the tech talent needs in a globalized way, not just in local, not just in office or even in hybrid, but local. Companies have to adapt if they are really willing or needing or wanting to get the tech talent that they need to remain competitive. That's, I would say, the biggest insight. And obviously, as I've said, in the other way, in the talent way, from mostly from those geographies, they are so much willing. You know, it's kind of 8.5 in 10 are willing to either work remotely or relocate to a different continent. So in Europe, it's around 6 in 10. So it's a huge difference that the companies that are smarter will take advantage of it, obviously.
Okay, really, really interesting insights. Thank you, Pedro.
Let me just say
And if
just
you,
one last thing. And
yeah,
regarding,
no,
for
it's okay.
example, company types, and we are all startups here, you know, the good thing is that scale-ups and startups, they pay the best, they are the preferred companies by tech talent from all over the world, while corporate, public sector, you know, the more conservative outsourcing, body shopping, etc., they are just falling down in all the indicators. So there's clearly an increased attractiveness towards this kind of companies, and obviously most fintech companies sit in this space, than the more traditional, you know, companies. So again, a huge opportunity for startups and scale-ups, and specifically here in terms of fintech, to really, you know, make themselves attractive and get the talent that they need to cater to their needs.
Can I
Thank
just
you.
add
Yeah,
something? The just to give you a concrete example, because I 200% agree with you, Pedro. There's no way. So we are a Swiss company. So our headquarters is in Lausanne. There's no way we would have been able to hire 76 people in 3 months if we were only looking for people in Switzerland. Impossible. So yeah, to go back to your point, it comes with pros and cons. You know, this is like almost a new global experiment what we're going through. But I think there's definitely an opportunity for companies who are embracing globalization to grow organically very fast, simply by tapping onto the global market. So yeah, I concur.
and if I can make a note on that as well, we have our company even smaller country. We are based in Malta, half UK, and for us as well to recruit in Malta. Malta has 500,000 inhabitants, so to get to the point of around 100 talent people to join our company is it's quite complicated, right? So of course we adopted the model of going almost fully remote, and as well the globalization. We try to get people from all over the world to work with us and get the best talent to join us, because it's really complicated to get in such a small island and so many local talent.
Of course. Thank you, both of you, for the comments too. Now I have a question for Bruno from Weaver. So Weaver has gained a noteworthy reputation in Europe, and I would like to know, why did Weaver decide to expand to Portugal, and what do you think were the main challenges of this expansion?
It's true that we got some reputation in Europe, and expanding to Portugal. It's all about the talent. Me being Portuguese, and I've been working and working for a few years in Portugal, because I've been out from Portugal for a long time. But experience exactly what is to work in Portugal and see the talent people that exist in Portugal. It's definitely a place to grab one of the best talents in Europe. I think we are kind of ranked 23rd in the world, I guess, in terms of talent. If I'm not mistaken with the numbers, apologize for that. So especially on tech, we have amazing unis, Technical Lisboa, that can produce amazing talent from that. I'm not. There's more. I think there's all in the north. Sorry if I miss a uni. But yeah, Portugal has produced from the last years such an amazing talent, and I think the competitiveness of the salaries as well helped us out to get the best talent and work with us remotely and produce all the best products that we can produce. So yeah, definitely. The challenge itself, what do we see in challenge is more if we adopt something to join Portugal, we think it's more the adaptation, the culture itself, the adaptation to something new, right? So I think it's more that, because people are kind of used to it, and we're talking about not just recruitment, we're talking about even growing to the Portuguese market, right? There's always the challenge of people trying something new, and it's something I think it's something still in the Portuguese, that they can still keep themselves for the traditional way of things, right? I'm not saying that I don't want to generalize, but it's something hard to move on to something completely new that came out, especially on FinTech, right? On banking, that it's quite engraved in the Portuguese of the traditional banking. I mean, so yeah, so that's, I think it's more that the challenge of changing that. Changing the mentality for something new.
Okay, great. Thank you, Bruno. Now I have another question that has nothing to do with talent, but more with this globalization, for João Cerdeira from Locker. So within Europe, there are different KYC requirements. So I would like to know if there is any sort of impact on organizations when it comes to identity verification regarding the fact that there are different KYC requirements within Europe?
Yes, I think it's in Europe. I think we are okay because in Europe we have legislation. We have some legislation that are part of the more on a financial institution. We are organization that have some ground rules, right? And then each country applies their rules a little bit different, right? But they have a common umbrella, right? And that common umbrella, it's really good for us in Europe. But we are trying to expand to other countries or to other continents, and then that it's really hard. Because one of the advantage of us is to be compliant, right? Because we have some experience in some banks in Europe, and they say that if they are going to analyze the law and the regulation, they will take us 1 year just to come up with a solution, designing a solution, right? It's not implementing it, just 1 year to design a solution. And we have the solution that is ready in a couple of weeks or a couple of days are ready to be integrated on their core systems. And then it's one of the advantages. And this is why the European market is the first call, because it's going to be easy. If you go to other markets, the regulation or don't exist, or it's a lot of it has a big difference in Europe. In Europe, it's kind of we have some changes. So in Portugal and Spain are different from France, from Italy, but they don't change much, right? So it's a kind of in our product we have some parameterizations that if you are in Spain or in Portugal or in Italy, you are able to do it, and the journey will adapt, right? But if you go to the America, if you go to other continents, it's a challenge. We are working with some partners in that locations in order to understand how the market behaves and how can they adapt that solution, but it's going to be hard. In Europe, I think it's normal. It's the normal difficulties to be a Portuguese and to be a Portuguese company that's it's trying to expand to other countries. Right now, we have big startups in Portugal, Farfetch, Talkdesk, Fitzai, and so on. It's easier to be on that market, but it's still kind of a difficult to be a Portuguese trying to conquer the European market. But what moves us is the challenge, right?
Of course.
And this is why we need talent in order to conquer that countries. We are doing the opposite, right? From Bruno and Joseph, they come to Portugal to attract talent, and we are going to be on the other countries in Europe and maybe in other continents and try to attract talent there in order to understand their market. Because in the previous companies, just to explain one of my experience on previous company, we were trying from Portugal to deliver a product to China, and it was impossible because the market it was so different. They look at information so differently that we changed the strategy. We hired a team there that adapt our product for their market and for their channels. They buy stuff on WeChat, and for us Europeans, it's really strange, but they do it. So maybe Locker, what it's going to have in the near future and other continents, trying to hire there a team in order to understand how to adapt our product and to sell our products on their markets, because it's really different.
Yeah, yeah. You were saying that experience that you had was
No,
with
it was
Locker, or
it was
not?
with
It
Locker
was
with the previous companies. You can tell it was
okay,
Farfetch,
okay,
and we opened an office in Shanghai. And it was
okay.
just trying to sell products on WeChat and other channels that we have, and we try to understand how. It wasn't possible because the lack of documentation in English and so on and so on, and they look at the stuff very differently.
Of course, of course.
Can I
Thank
share a
you.
story?
Go on.
So it's what you just said reminded me of a famous case study about the failure of Uber in Japan. So Uber, 10 years ago, it was, the company that would disrupt the taxi industry everywhere, right? In the US, Europe, they did very well. Japan, huge market, right? Tokyo is an immense city. Everybody takes a cab. Huge, huge market. Obviously, Uber, very confident, hired a team of American dudes, who got to Tokyo and conquer the market, So they say, hey, we're going to disrupt the taxi industry. Are you guys in? People in Japan say, no. Simply because this is not how things work in Japan. You don't destroy, you don't disrupt, you adapt, you adjust. It's like little by little. You're being a way softer approach. So Uber failed massively as a result. The US task force have been, they came back to the US basically, and the whole workforce has been replaced by Japanese people. And now Uber is starting to recover, but not through Uber Taxi, but Uber Eats. Yeah, so just wanted to share this story. Yeah.
And because KYC it's so differently, the regulations so different in each country, other people see the information. Like in Europe, we have a lot of laws that doing a face match is kind of a bad thing. It's going to spy you and it's going to sell you all the information. If you go to China, everyone does face match, right? So and because of that, we need to understand the market. The people that are there are the ones that understand it.
Yeah. Thank you. It's also it's very interesting, like to hear about the success stories, but also the failures. So now I have a question for Joseph. The crypto scenario in Portugal has been growing really, really fast. Why did Swissborg decide to expand to Portugal, and what have been the challenges of this expansion?
Great question. Well, Portugal has always been interesting. So the in the fintech industry, Portugal is interesting because the talent pool is educated. People work hard in this country, and most of all, people speak very good English, surprisingly, especially compared to Spanish people, French people, even German people. I had the chance to go to Lisbon in March, and I was amazed by everybody speaks English there. It's like this is formidable. So I think the somehow Portugal managed to educate its younger generation and prepare them for the world that we live in today, where whether you like it or not, you must speak English if you want to succeed. So I think the first people speak English. Admittedly, this is not this is not a secret. The cost of employment in Portugal is lower compared to the major economies, France and Germany. So obviously, for young companies, it's just a no-brainer, right? Obviously, the some people might be cynical and say, companies are taking advantage of Portugal, but it's if you're optimistic, this is rather an opportunity for Portugal to be seen as the place where startups and fintech can succeed, because we can tap on a talent pool that is that wants nothing but to work hard and succeed. And for the crypto industry, well, obviously the fact that crypto assets are not taxed, at least for now. It can be advantageous. So what's been interesting is that we've seen Europeans moving to Portugal just to enjoy the quality of life there. I had the chance to go to Capilina Beach, and this place is amazing. If I could, I would live there 24/7. So yeah, I think there's lots of different reasons that that make Portugal a special place in Europe.
Okay, great. And
Can I make a question to Joseph?
Go ahead.
yeah,
This is my opinion. Do you know what is the main reason why Portuguese people speak okay English? I always say okay English.
Actually, I don't know.
Because we don't have subtitles. We don't. We have subtitles. We don't have dubbed movies. Even the movies for kids. We don't have the movies. So we are used from kids to listen English, on the TV. That is the main reason. It's my opinion, but I think I don't know if Bruno.
yeah, I think
Pedro
it's
agrees.
I agree. I agree with
Yeah,
you.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Even Spanish or even catching some French. We used to. I remember when I was a kid, getting all the Spanish cartoons in the morning, and even some French as well. So yeah. So because we don't dub, so for us it's easier. It's easy to catch up with other languages. But we get. I have to say, like, when I left Portugal, I had an really American bad accent because we mainly get the American English, right? So I moved to London and I couldn't understand a single word, and they couldn't understand a single word I was saying. So I had to adapt on that, of course. But I think, yeah, for as you say, it's not getting dubbed movies or cartoons and have always the subtitles available makes us to learn easier other languages for sure. I will not say the opposite because learning Portuguese is quite hard, but yeah, totally. It's because of that.
Christina, I just realized that I forgot to answer to the second part of your question about
Yeah, I was
the
going to ask
challenges
you
of
about it.
setting up an entity. So I haven't been in the company long enough to get to know the whole story, but I know that our legal team has been scratching their heads a few times. It seems that it has been the bureaucracy in Portugal is can unfortunately slow down. I think that the economical development of the country. The I know that when it comes to signing contracts, for instance, I think for the longest time we were told that um, uh, uh, newly hired employees had to come to the office to sign the contract physically, or at least that's what we were told by local lawyers. Apparently, this has changed, I think, recently, but that for us was like, oh wow, so.
Yep. Right now you have. I'm going to say in Portuguese, chave móvel digital, and you can sign the contract electronically. It's a
Exactly.
government service.
Yeah, it's e-sign. Yeah, e-sign documents. You can have it. Yeah, so easier.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, it's like it's the chave móvel digital, like João was saying, is linked to your ID card, basically. And yeah, you can sign digitally like that. Okay, so
Yeah, but can I just comment on something that
yeah,
Joseph
of
just said?
course,
Regarding work contracts in Portugal, obviously you can sign them by digital mobile key or by hand or by whatever. But if you have proof that you basically have had a proposal and you accepted it, both parties said yes, for example, in emails, and if you start working for the company, That's legal basis for the work contract to be
Okay.
active. Now, so I would say for all the companies that might be hearing us and eventually considering opening an entity in Portugal, the first thing that you should do is probably not go to a lawyer, because they have their own interests, of course, but talk with companies like FinTech House or Landing.Jobs. For example, we have helped dozens of companies come to Portugal. Usually, in first, they just do an experiment, hiring some people. It's even us that are paying them through employer of record things. And then when they get to 8, 10, they want an office and they want to open an entity, and we help them also on that. So this knowledge about local players, local partners that can help do all of that can save a lot of, unanswered questions and a lot of, needless work most of the times.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pedro, for that also. So now I'm going back to Bruno. What is your company culture like? And what do you look for in potential candidates?
Yeah, so our culture is this looks a bit cheesy. It sounds a bit cheesy saying, but it's kind of family based. That we like to have people that are truly independent, but know how to work in teams and help each other, and like you said before, like wear the shirt of the club, right? Wear the t-shirt of the club. We are lucky for all the talents that we have in the company. Everyone is super talent, helping each other. We have from some seniors to I am talking about the tech, of course. That's my part of the department, and from the seniors that help the juniors to grow. We give opportunities to people to grow in the company. We have already promoted a lot of people to other parts of the company, even people that developers that would like to work more on the product side, and we give that opening to learn more and to probably even try out on the product side to join the product team. So yeah, so we are looking to people that are enthusiasts in what have a lot of not just a lot of knowledge, but they are eager to learn more and passionate of what they're doing, because I think it's more important, because when you're passionate, when you do something and you have fun with it, right? We don't want people just come to work just because of the work, right? So we are looking to people that are really passionate about what they're doing, and work in an environment, again, a family environment. We are growing, but it's still quite, everyone knows each other. Everyone goes out on the Fridays, people go out for a couple of drinks, just to talk about what happened in the sprint or what happened in the during the week. So it's good, and we want people that really enjoy what they do, right? And can give us a bigger jump. That we already have a good jump, but a bigger jump, right, on the fintech world. So yeah, that's definitely what we are looking to.
Thank you. I would actually say that I feel at the FinTech House I am in contact with a lot of startups, and I feel like this kind of family culture is really common. Um, and yeah, so I see that it's a really good environment to work in, and as a first job and as a youngster trying to find a job, I think it's a really good
Yes, for
environment
sure.
to work in.
Because if you work in the big companies, and I've been in other companies, when you're just a number, right? And you don't want to be a number.
Mhm.
You want to be a
Yeah.
person. You want to give your feedback. And one thing that's definitely especially when I work with my teams, and everyone has a saying, right? It doesn't matter if it's good or bad, but it's good to participate in all the meetings and discuss. And we have a dev forum every Fridays to discuss anything about what needs to be implemented or new solutions. So and everyone can intervene on that, and I think it's important. Doesn't matter the title, right? Doesn't really matter the title. It matters how passionate you are to bring new solutions.
Yeah, that's something that I was also going to say when you said it doesn't matter the title. I feel like many times in fintechs, people don't even have um, a title of their job. Like everyone just works for
Yes, of
the
course.
same cause, and no one is looking for what they will call them, like director of something or head of something.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
We try to be, again, a little bit of we try to be a flat organization, like a flat organization. There's no hierarchy. But yeah, everyone is involved in everything. We have junior developers that talk with the CEO. We have we have the CTO to discuss with all the people that you would consider, right? Especially in Portugal, when I was I don't know how it is now, but I remember when I was working in Portugal, like the hierarchy is like really important, right? It's really important that you have your manager and your manager, and then you are a junior, so you need to listen what the senior has to say, and you don't have much saying. So the culture in our company is completely different. We give opportunity to everyone to express themselves, and that's, I think that's a good value. I think for us the most important is the people.
Yeah, and just before going to another question, I wouldn't say that in other companies people don't have that liberty to talk. I just think that in fintechs, uh, the people that work there, they make people feel comfortable to talk. So I wouldn't say that in other companies people can talk and can't have their opinions, but I mean in fintechs you are more comfortable to talk.
I think it's sorry to interrupt you in here. It's not just in fintech. Well, of course we catch in fintech, but I think it's all related. New startups and new how do you say it? It's I think Google brought this idea. I think the creation of Google and let's bring it that gave us a shift of how we treat people at work and should work with move forwards. That because the company will not survive without the people, right? Without their talent. So being a CEO, being a CTO, or being the owner of the company, it's nothing without the talent, right? Without talent to move
Of
forward with
course.
the company. So yeah.
Yeah.
So it I think it comes. I think now all startups, scale ups, even that the companies that become corporate as well after the scale up. The new generation, I think, moves forward to this direction, and it's good. It's good to see that we don't have more that stigma of the traditional companies.
So if I may share a story, if I may share it, it's going to
Of
be.
course, yeah.
I was working on the company that they build a team together in order to improve the conversion rate. It was online commerce, and they build a team to improve the conversion rate in, I think, in 2%, and that was like $40 million a year more in revenue, and the team was working in more or less in 6 months and 0% of improvement. Right? It was like we want to share also bad experience. And then a guy, I was on that room, say to the PO, a developer saying, "Oh, yeah, and if we do this A/B test, okay, do it. How many time it takes? I think it's like an afternoon, and that improved the conversion rate 1%. It was 20 million after 1 year. Is that kind of stuff? It's sometimes we do task forces and then just an idea of a guy. It gets a lot of benefit for the company. That is one of the example why we need to care about everyone and then not just for some. That was thing that happened on the place I was working on.
Yeah. Thank you, João. And as you were now talking, I will catch the opportunity to make you the last question. Last question for you, João. There's one more question for Joseph. But as we're talking about this company culture, I would like to know, how is the company culture at Locker, and what excites you? What are you looking for, like, in potential candidates? What catches your attention in a potential candidate? Also regarding the challenges that you are having right now at Locker.
Yes, challenge every day or every minute, right? In every startup. But
Yeah.
the culture in Locker, it's very, very familiar. We are all friends because we start the company because two of our founders were university professors, and then they get a really great group of students, and then they start a startup. It's kind of a old traditional way of starting a startup. Right now, it's not a common use case right now, but that was started. And then that guys were on the university, they were friends, right? And then they start to ask their friends to join because it's cool to work at Locker. And then part of the company are friends of each other, right? Because they study together, they know each other, they ask our friends to join. Right now, the Locker is on a different stage. We are hiring people everywhere, right? Especially in Portugal. And the reasons why we are in Portugal, I think you already told them all. But that is a culture. We are almost all friends. We go to play football, the ones that are near the office, right? The other, it depends. We have some people in Lisbon or in other cities, and they get together. But we know each other all, and we are friends. And some of them before they get together on Locker. Okay, that is one of aspects of our culture, and this is why we get talent for long periods of time, because they are bound together. They have a connection, not just for work. Yeah, right, and not just for football. Because here in Portugal,
Yeah.
we talk a lot about football. That was the first question. The second one was, Christina, sorry. What I look on the talent. I learned, I don't know if, I work at a company, at Bleep, and the founder of that startup, right now it's Betfair, that is a UK company, and the Flutter company, rah, rah. It's one of the reasons why Bleep, it's one of the reasons why Porto is so hot for startups, because that was the big investment in Porto with the huge success. I wasn't there, so I'm really a lucky guy. And then the José Fonseca, that was the founder of Leap, told the expression that on that time it was really confused for me, because we were the best tech company in Portugal for sure on that time, and we proved that. But then he say, we don't hire for technical skills, we hire for attitude, right? Because tech, it's learnable. We can learn tech if you have the right attitude and the right mindset. We are going to learn that. The attitude, it's something that you would acquire. It's not the right word, acquire, but we learn when you are a kid. So I'm looking for attitude, and willing for learning, willing for experimenting new things, willing for take risks, right? Because tech, it's all about risk and working on the startup. Sometimes we are on fire, right? And we have an accident, and sometimes you need that guy to go there and solve that and take the risk, right? So it's for attitude and wanting for learning new stuff and to take risks, learning new stuff and doing stuff differently. It's attitude for sure. And then, of course, people, if you are a developer, that guy needs to know how to develop, right? But we have we have an experience here in Locker that we have operators, that people that are doing assisted interviews because it's under regulation of KYC and blah blah, and they come for the university from different backgrounds. That backgrounds that are not so easy to enter on the market, and then they enter as an operator. They do assisted phone calls, right? And then we give them the opportunities to move other area, to security, to business analysts, and so on and so on, to QAs. And that was an experience that it's going to, it's we are doing it more and more and more. Why? Because they already know the business, right? And this is it's one important aspect. It's knowing the business, right? Because we are a startup, we move really fast, and sometimes we don't have time to teach everyone every aspect, and they don't have the technical skills, but they know the business, right? And they learn really fast the technical skills. So we are giving an opportunity inside Locker from people that are doing support and assisted interviews and so on to move to the tech area with great success, and we want to do more of that.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, João. I'm now going to move to our last question, to Joseph. So it's basically kind of the same thing. So
Same question.
yeah.
So when it comes to culture, it's we moved from being a startup to being a scale-up organization over the past 6 months. If I recall correctly, since September of last year, I think we've almost doubled in size. So it's great, right? But obviously, this had a tremendous impact on our culture and how we used to operate. So what's interesting is that over the past few months, we've had to sort of reorganize ourselves. So as an organization, as a company grows in size, you tend to see that silos are being formed almost subconsciously. So you have the marketing team and then the engineers, and at some point they almost don't communicate, right? Or like it's only top down, and it doesn't work anymore. So what we put in place a few months ago is an OKR system, so objectives and key results. So we have squad teams that have a very specific goal, which could be releasing a new feature or something like that. And those teams are composed of a product designer, a product manager, a couple of engineers, developers, QA, and so on, marketeers, and so their goal is to work together and release a feature by a certain time frame. And this has worked very, very well. It also became very important because our company is 100% remote, right? So we maybe 15% or like 20% max of the company is based in Switzerland, not even in Lausanne. Some of them are in Geneva or Zurich, but otherwise everybody is spread across Europe. We also have people in Canada, the east coast of the US, Brazil. So as you can imagine, it's an incredible experiment we're going through as an organization, because I feel like we are at the forefront of those companies that decided, okay, we go full remote, and we got to learn how to build a culture, how to be an agile and fast organization, right? So we've put the system in place. But to give you some concrete example that we have, we every week, I myself, I spend half an hour with a colleague. I'm randomly selected and put in touch with one colleague, so we get to know each other. We have brainstorming activities, with some departments. It's on a monthly basis. Those squad teams I have mentioned, they write weekly reports, to explain, hey, this is what we'll be working on, so that everybody is in the loop, right? They know where the company is going, because truly this is where things the um, it always comes down to the same thing. Communication is key, right? But as you grow, this is where communication start to, it gets harder. And so as much as you want to be a family and so on, it gets more difficult. So, but there's one thing that unites us all at Swissborg is obviously the industry. So crypto, maybe some of you are even investing. It's a very nascent industry that is booming, literally. We can see an influx of developers joining the industry. There's a bit of hype, so that's good for us. It makes the hiring very dynamic. We have the luxury of having many applicants, and the sheer enthusiasm that people have for the industry is really what binds us at Swissborg. We all, convinced that crypto is going to change many things over the next 5 to 10 years. So this is a fundamental foundation that unites us all, right? Is that we like the industry, we have a passion, for this industry and our products. So back to what we are so moving forward to what we look for in candidates, obviously a passion for crypto, that goes without saying. We don't expect necessarily people to be super nerdy about crypto. We don't expect them to necessarily understand what a smart contract is, or what are the top 3 DeFi protocols. We don't necessarily um, um, uh, 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 expect developers to know that, but at least to be generally interested in what's going on in the space. So at least know what Bitcoin is and know what Ethereum is. Yeah, that's the basics, and obviously understand our business as well. So we do expect candidates to spend the time to browse through our website and try understanding our tokenomics. And then as Joao, sorry if I if I'm writing your name, Albino said, attitude is key. So the in a startup, or even more so in the young industry, you need to be hungry. Yeah, you need to be ready to put in the work.
Yeah.
As I said, some of you, if you are following the space, last week has been brutal in the crypto industry, because one of the top um, uh, top crypto projects failed miserably. That's the Terra Luna. And obviously, when things happen, you need to show resilience, because some users are losing money and they say, "What's going on?" Right? So you have to be prepared for that. But that's what makes life exciting, I suppose, right? So there's a good and a bad.
Okay. Thank you, Joseph. We're right on time, so we're going to have to end this session. But there were some questions here, and Pedro already answered them. Thank you, Pedro. But there's a last one from Olivia about how can you apply to opportunities in the fintech world. So you can check out Swissborg's, Weavers, and Locker's websites. They have their career portal, and you can check out their job opportunities. You can also go to the FinTech House LinkedIn profile, which is also here in the chat. And we did a post some days ago about summer internships, and you can apply there, or you can just go to the FinTech House website, and we have there all of the startups of the community, and you can reach them out. Or if you want, you can also add me on LinkedIn. I'm going to put my name. It's not the link, but yeah, so you can reach me out on LinkedIn if you are interested in any of the startups of our community, and I will connect you with them. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Landing.Jobs, for organizing the event, and thank you to the startups. And yeah, I hope you can get some opportunity in the fintech sector soon. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Have a good one.
Bye.